The cardboard sign around his neck had started to curl at the edges. One man. One dog. Best offer. He had written it himself in thick black marker, hands shaking just enough to make the letters look like they belonged to someone else. The town square smelled of roasted peanuts and damp pavement. Folding tables lined the sidewalks for the weekend charity fair. People wandered past booths selling homemade jam and knitted scarves, laughing softly, their arms full of things they did not need. He stood near the fountain, holding his dog. The dog, a sandy-colored mutt with a torn ear and patient eyes, rested his chin on the man's forearm as if he trusted that this was just another strange day that would somehow turn out fine. It would not. His name was Elias Carter. 36 years old. Widower. Father of an 8-year-old girl who was currently staying with her grandmother 3 towns over because the electricity had been cut off again. Elias had not meant for his life to collapse this quietly. It happened in layers. First the factory closed. Then the medical bills for his wife's illness. Then the house. Then the truck. He had sold everything that could be sold. Everything except the dog. But the landlord had been clear. No pets in the boarding room. If Elias wanted to keep a roof over his daughter's head when she came back, the dog had to go. He could not leave the dog tied outside a shelter. He could not abandon him on some rural road. So he had come up with this ridiculous idea. If someone would take the dog, they would have to take him too. He did not expect anyone to actually bid. He just wanted to make people stop. To look at him. To see that desperation has a face. Most people did not. They glanced at the sign and moved on, uncomfortable. A few laughed. One man dropped a coin at Elias's feet as if he were part of the entertainment. By late afternoon, his legs trembled. The dog shifted, licking his wrist. Almost done, Scout, Elias whispered. That was when she stopped. She wore a long gray coat that brushed against her calves, though the day was not cold. Her hair was pinned loosely at the back of her head, strands escaping around her face. She did not look like someone who belonged at a street fair. There was something still about her, like a person listening to a sound no one else could hear. She read the sign carefully. Is this real? She asked. Elias forced a smile that did not hold. As real as it gets. And what exactly is included in the purchase? He swallowed. The dog. And me. Her gaze moved from Scout's tired eyes to Elias's worn boots, then to the faint indentation on his left hand where a wedding ring used to be. Why? She asked, softly. So he told her. Not every detail. Just enough. The factory. The bills. The landlord. His daughter. He did not mention how ashamed he felt. He did not say that this was the lowest he had ever stood. She listened without interrupting. When he finished, she reached into her leather bag and pulled out an envelope. I will take both, she said. He blinked. You do not even know me. I know enough. She handed him the envelope. Inside was more money than he had seen in months. This is not charity, she added. You will work. I need help. With what? My house, she said. It is too big. Too empty. And it requires repairs. He hesitated only a second before nodding. Her name was Miriam Hale. The house sat on the edge of town behind tall iron gates that creaked open as her car rolled in. It was not a mansion, but it carried the quiet dignity of old wealth. The paint had begun to peel. The garden was overgrown. Inside, dust floated in the afternoon light like tiny ghosts. You can stay in the carriage house, she said. There is running water. Heat. For now, that is enough. It was more than enough. That first night, Scout curled on a proper rug instead of a concrete floor. Elias lay awake staring at a ceiling that did not threaten to leak. He did not trust it. Over the next weeks, he repaired loose boards, fixed gutters, patched cracks. He worked with a focus that bordered on obsession. Miriam watched sometimes from the kitchen window, a mug. She was not married. There were no family photos on the walls. Only one framed picture in the hallway. A young boy with a crooked smile and bright eyes. Elias noticed the way her fingers lingered on that frame whenever she passed. One evening, as he sanded a banister smooth, she sat on the stairs beside him. "You have a daughter," she said. "Yes." "What is her name?" "Clara." Miriam nodded. "I had a son." The words fell gently, but something inside them broke. "Had?" Elias asked. 3 years ago," she said. "Car accident. A rainy night." He put the sandpaper down. "This house was loud once," she continued. "Soccer cleats in the hallway. Mud on the floors. Laughter. After he died, the silence became unbearable. I tried selling the place. I tried traveling. None of it helped." She looked at Scout, who was asleep at the foot of the stairs. "When I saw you in the square," she said, "I did not see a man for sale. I saw someone standing on the edge of losing everything. I recognized that edge." For the first time since arriving, Elias felt something other than gratitude. He felt understanding. A week later, Clara came to visit. She ran across the garden, her small arms wrapping around Scout first, then around her father. Her laughter cut through the air like sunlight through clouds. Miriam stood on the porch, watching. Clara was shy at first, but children adjust to kindness quickly. By dinner, she was telling Miriam about her school, her favorite books, her dream of becoming a veterinarian. The house shifted that night. It was subtle, but real. The walls seemed to exhale. Months passed. Elias saved money. He found part-time work in town while continuing repairs. The carriage house no longer felt temporary. One evening, he handed Miriam an envelope. "It is the first repayment," he said. She smiled. "I told you. It was not charity." "I know," he replied. "But it was also more than employment." Spring arrived, soft and forgiving. The garden bloomed again under careful hands. Clara planted sunflowers near the fence. On the anniversary of her son's death, Miriam did not lock herself in her room. Instead, she joined Elias and Clara in the yard. They released a small lantern into the twilight sky. It rose slowly, a fragile light against the dark. Elias understood then that she had not bought a broken man and his dog. She had chosen to stitch her life to theirs. What began as an auction ended as something else entirely. A home rebuilt. Not from money. Not from pity. But from the simple decision to take 2 trembling lives and say, "Stay."